The decision Justices Richard Butera, Justice Godfrey Chiriabwire, Monica Mugenyi, Chibedi Muzamiru, Christopher Gashirabak upheld the constitutionality of the anti-homosexuality. Court considered 5 aspects in its decision, and these include, among others, the legislation and judicial decision from sister jurisdiction that have decriminalized consensual homosexuality between adults in private space, the absence of consensus at the global level regarding non-discrimination, best sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, and sex characteristics, the conflict in international human rights law between upholding a universal understanding of human rights and respecting the diversity and freedom of human culture, with no one culture entirely recognizing homosexuality, among others. Now, the decision made by the Constitutional Court has generated both positive and negative responses. Pastor Martin Semper, who was happy about the ruling, is of the opinion that this ruling will contribute to the improvement of Uganda's economy.
I was disappointed I didn't have a chance. I was disappointed because many people are talking about World Bank, that we can't afford the law, that they are not going to give us money. But the truth is, we can't afford LGBTQ. And to me, it was a perfect moment in court to interrogate Pepe Onzima. How much did she spend on getting a sex surgery? The average sex surgery is about $25,000. Now, if only 1% of Uganda's young people take gay identity, LGBT theory, and they take sex surgery, that's $25,000 times 500,000 people. Uganda can't afford those billions. Not only that, they must have a lifetime of hormones, they must have a lifetime of gels, they must have a lifetime of steroids. This is big pharmaceutical, hooking our children to this.
Stephen Langer, the executive director of Family Life Network, strongly argues that homosexuality has detrimental effects on families, individuals, and society as a whole. He firmly believes that Africa should resist any attempts of cultural and sexual colonization by Western nations who seek to impose their own views on marriage that deviate from biblical principles. Langer urges Africa to uphold its own values and traditions when it comes to the institution of marriage.
I'm happy today with the ruling of the court in principle regarding the anti-homosexuality case or petition which was brought, where the petitioners wanted to strike out or to strike down the Anti-Homosexuality Act or law. So in principle, today the justices have retained or maintained the law, and secondly, they have also said that there should be no injunction, or they will not welcome any injunction to stay or to hold on to it while the matter is still being handled in other fora. That was decided, and so we are really happy about that. Because as far as we are concerned, homosexuality destroys individuals, homosexuality destroys families, homosexuality destroys society. This is something that actually destroys civilizations, and we can see from history, there's no civilization that has survived homosexuality. So because of that, we don't want to follow those countries that have decided to do it. We cannot go and be led to the ditch when we are watching.
The petitioners who were against the law sought for the judges to nullify it, claiming that it went against their constitutional rights. They also promised to appeal the ruling to the Supreme Court.
Unfortunately, on this occasion, this court played to public sentiments by quoting public sentiments, by quoting unverified, unsubstantiated allegations of recruitment of children into homosexuality. To that extent, the court was disappointed. But nonetheless, the court's decision must be respected, even if, like in this case, we disagree with it.
Society that discriminates against any member, any number, any person in its ranks is not a society worth living in. And we are not available to live in a society that oppresses its minorities, that discriminates against its minorities. This is just the beginning of a long and protracted battle. Thank you very much.
Petitioners, tugenda omu Supreme Court okuchallenginga judgment ya Constitutional Court olwaleero. Tuva wano tugenda mu Supreme Court and we are hopeful tuja kuwangula.
The legislation was adopted in May last year, triggering outrage among the LGBTQ community, rights campaigners and the United Nations and Western nations. It was then passed by Parliament on May 26, 2023. The President of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, assented to the Anti-Homosexuality Bill of 2023, thereby turning it into law.